everybody. How are we doing tonight? As you can see, it's just me. My wonderful co-host Maria is on vacation for the month. But tonight we're going to do a hangout chat with some friends of the channel. And I'm really looking forward to it. And so I'm going to bring them out now.
It's me.
How's it going?
It's going good.
We've got Dreaming Tabitha with us tonight.
Yes, you're welcome.
We've got, it's all going to be random. You don't know who's going to pop up next. We've got Tom from Rogue Disney. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. How is everyone else? I hope everyone has a wonderful New Year so far. All 2 days of it, or 3 days of it.
It's been pretty good.
Not much bad can happen yet.
We've got JT Gunter, the man who designed our wonderful logo. How are you doing, sir?
Hello. Doing good. How's everyone else? How's the chat? Good.
I think we are good.
It's my first time on video.
On camera.
On camera.
Look how good looking JT is.
Yeah, I was gonna say nothing to be ashamed of.
Very, very dapper.
Yeah, maybe Jay's got competition. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh, them spicy
You can
words.
pull off the beard better.
Yeah, and look at all those awesome toys you got behind you. I only have really an arcade, but you've got a lot more.
That's a quarter.
A collection going there.
That's a quarter of it.
Yes. And then we've got Mr. Tim Stocks, Tim Possible. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Hello there, everyone.
You're a man of many words, Tim, aren't you?
Jedi, I don't know. What am I supposed to say? Thanks for having me on.
I think you've done this more than any of us. You're a pro here.
I know. That's what she...
When in doubt, flex, Tim. Just go.
Show us the impact, Tim.
Yeah.
I gotta check my phone.
And lastly, we have got Sam Mathai, all the way from Dubai. How you doing, Sam?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Good. We're happy to have you. And let's see who we've got in our chat tonight. And right up top, we've got our buddy Maria. Hello. Glad you can join us in chat tonight. We hope you are having a wonderful vacation.
Sort of. I kind of want one of those signs that says "You should be here." I didn't realize I was going to be the only girl again.
Well, next time we have you on, Tabitha, I'll make sure there's at least one other lady here. So
it's okay. I'll be all right. I just feel like I was a little bit misled, a little deceived by the thumbnail.
We've been talking about this for a week, by the way. I told you everybody that'd be here. You saw the thumbnail.
I saw the thumbnail, and it had her picture on it.
It said out of office.
Yeah.
Be back January
Sorry.
31st.
I didn't read the details. My bad. I'll just...
We got Lulu Blue.
I mean,
the chat.
you'd be used to this.
I felt
You
like
would think so.
the picture is false advertisement because I expected Tabitha to have that hat on.
Yeah.
You know,
See?
what's going on here?
See what happens there too? Told you.
Yeah. Hey, Avery. Thank you for being here.
Howdy,
Got my
Avery.
lovely wife and son downstairs watching.
Phil Spidey.
Hello.
Let's see. Who else? Oh, and our good buddy Phil is here.
Phil. Hello.
Howdy,
well, thank
Phil.
you all for being here. Hang on one second here. Looks like we got a couple of bots in the chat.
That's how you know you're going in the right direction.
I know. Yep.
Achievement unlocked.
And then
got
John Makita here as well. And then really quick, it's like super hot up here. Let me take off my hoodie. I should have did this
You
earlier.
need some jazz music or something?
I'm just making sure you guys like my shirt doesn't lift up. You guys see my gut, but look at this awesome shirt I have on.
I love it.
Oh.
I am the law.
Nice.
Where'd you get that? That's awesome.
Oh, my lovely wife made one. So
That's awesome.
Well, she made the decals, and I'm like, that's got to be a shirt next. So
Yeah.
I was so excited to show this off. I'm disappointed Dan is not here, but
We're always a little disappointed in Dan.
yeah.
I love Dan.
That got me. I'm sorry.
Dan's great.
Dan's good people.
He
He's
is.
great people.
As long as you, well, no, I take it back. That's David. As long as you give David money, Dan and Tabitha are good people.
I got his mug somewhere around back here. So
I don't even have him inside the booth mug, so.
You don't?
Aren't you supposed to have one so you can say
Dan
hey?
didn't send you one.
I have a hoodie.
He sent
So
me
I
a
feel
mug,
like
and I
that-
think he used the drink koozies as like packing material when I got the mug.
You know, that's just called smart marketing. You know, really.
Yeah. JT's even got one. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it
man.
is.
I got a
It is.
ninja.
oh yeah. He sent me
I have a
this,
Life
too.
Day orb. I don't know.
I have a belt.
You know, as much as I would love for you to eat that on live stream right now, I don't think you would make it through the live stream.
Yeah.
But
This will
you know,
probably be on Dan's. Yeah.
I was gonna say, well, or if anything, save that for another one if you're brave enough to like open up with it.
Well,
Because
I told him we have to
JT
sign
is
a waiver.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, and you know, for those of you who don't know, JT is also the manager of our Discord, which you can find the link to that in the description below. We love him over there. He's always posting stuff. I slack off all the time with it, so I can't thank him
I
enough
try my best.
for doing that. So, well, before we start off with our main topic, we were talking about the really sad news from last week about Betty White passing away.
Yeah.
I'd definitely say for some of us who, you know, got to watch the Golden Girls when it was on, things like that, or even watched Hot in Cleveland, are definitely, you know, just sad by that news. She kind of was like America's grandmother in a way,
Yeah.
I feel like. And, you know, not only that, but just, you know, she was like 3 weeks from being 100 years old on top of
Her
it.
birthday's the 17th.
Yeah, she's 16 days from her birthday.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do something special on her too about turning 100 and
People Magazine
Yeah,
was going to
well-
do some kind of celebratory thing.
I think they were doing like a
Fathom event?
Phantom. Yeah, that's what it is. Phantom Events was going to do like a special for her 100th birthday, and now I'm sure that'll just be a retrospective of her life. But yeah, we were all kind of just talking about some favorite moments. You know, if you had any of hers you wanted to talk about, we thought that would be fun. So I'm going to start with Tabitha, and we'll work from Tom and then down to JT and over.
It's difficult, really. It's difficult to pick a moment because, like, especially everybody knows the Golden Girls. I mean, she is Rose Nyland. And quick fun fact: did you guys know that she actually auditioned for the role of Blanche?
yes,
Yeah.
I knew that.
I think I remember hearing that. I cannot imagine her playing
Right.
Blanche at all.
But I mean, obviously, anytime she has one of her little sweet, tender-hearted moments during a serious situation, it's got to be just. I can't pick one, but I have to say, as far as movies go, I loved her in The Proposal, and my favorite part is when she's dancing in the woods and she's just like yo, and then Sandra Bullock's character's like, "What do you want me to do?" And she's like, "Dance," and throws stuff into the fire. That's my favorite part.
Oh man, look who we got in the chat here. Oh, I thought that was no. I clicked on the wrong one. We got Shark 3 I was like, wait, that's not Jay, but that's Jay's hat.
It's Jay's hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Jay.
It jumped
Hi,
on me.
Jay.
Welcome, Jay. Thanks for being
Hello
here.
there.
Hey there.
Yeah, the wife was watching that the other day. I could hear it. You know, I knew what the movie was. I could hear it from her office. So, yeah, no, she was pretty great in that.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think Lake Placid as the woman in desperate need of marriage counseling who fed her husband to the alligators. I think that is my favorite because it's out of her realm, and like I've known those type of like grandma people that are like that weird. Like I've known that, and it was like seeing America's grandmother be slightly homicidal.
Well,
was a little interesting.
Don't we hear her drop like an F-bomb in that movie too?
Yeah, yeah. Like I thought that was like just kind of like breaking the mold for her a little bit.
Well,
Especially the first thing was like a little dark.
That shows her range as an actor, though. That's
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen like
Tom. Apparently, you owe Jay dinner and a cupcake.
And a cupcake. Very specific.
I have
like
the
that.
reservations for Tiffin's. Don't worry.
Oh,
I don't know where the cupcake's coming from, but I don't got dinner.
And then, yes, as you can see, the wife, she loves that part in the proposal too.
I love it. Good old Gammy.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, JT? You look like a big Betty White fan.
Oh yeah, thanks. Oh no, I've always liked her. The Golden Girls, she was one of my favorites. She was real funny. I recently binge watched that in 2020, so because I had nowhere else to go. But it was fun to watch.
It's on a streaming platform right now, I think.
Yeah, it was on
Hulu.
Hulu. In memory of. Yeah.
So is Mary Tyler Moore because she was in that too.
That's right.
And apparently she was on WWE Raw.
Ooh.
She's been everywhere.
Yeah, she was herself on that. So
Nice.
I also seen her in a couple old clips on the Johnny Carson show. She's really funny there. She really stretched her humor, which is good to see.
Yeah. Mr. Tim.
I do remember in Lake Placid that I was like, "Whoa, what is she doing in this role?" She does. I do buy the fact that she had that creepy grandma vibe. It's like, I don't want to eat your cookies no more, grandma. No. But like, she was really pretty when she was young. I was looking at pictures. I was like, wow. She was like at 11. But I do remember Golden Girls. Not Pacific Moments, but she was funny. That's all I gotta say about that.
Nothing wrong with that. We got Matt Vayner in the chat. Hello, Mr. Vayner. How you doing? Thanks for being here.
Hi. Yes, I'm still following you on Twitter, despite my better judgment.
And how about you, Sam? Any Betty White moments you want to share?
My favorite movie of Betty White was Bringing Down the House. She plays the character Mrs. Klein. The entire movie was her. She's a very nice lady otherwise, but in this movie, she's not a very nice lady. So it's very funny actually for me. So I think the whole movie, wherever she's in the scene, it's very funny. So that's cool.
I don't think I remember her in that, but yeah, I'm looking up what it is. It's Steve Martin, Queen Latifah.
Okay, yeah, now I know what that is.
Yeah. Well, I think just because it was so different too. I mean, I really liked her in Lake Placid. Plus, for not so much later in life, but in I want to say like the definitely the late '80s and early '90s, she was like real big for like pet charities. And they make that comment about her feeding her cows to the crocodile, and they're like, "I bet the PETA, people at PETA would like to know what you're up to." And then I kind of forgot about it, but there was always like jokes about her, because her character on Golden Girls, she was from Scandinavia, like near Germany, and she like talks about like having to deal with the Nazis all the time. And
that's because Hitler was her PE teacher.
Yeah,
if you guys remember.
Yeah. Well, I don't want you to get mad at this, but it slightly made me think of Tabitha, just because that's her mom's from Germany. I could just see Tabitha like telling tales of like when she goes to visit, just weird stuff back there.
Tales like of the old country.
Well, you guys want to come over and have some pigs and a Svengebluten?
Yeah.
I'll take some spatzel, maybe some knockwurst, but.
And she made up all those terms, by the way, too, like on this fly. Like there was no actual script for all of the Scandinavian words that she made in Golden Girls. Just want to point that out too.
There was a real one called oofda or something like that. That's a real term that's used because I know a few people from North Dakota and they use that a lot. And I'm like, oofda.
Yeah.
Can I just pause to appreciate the fact that I was a little fretful being the only female here, but then all these dudes here are like, Golden Girls, it's great.
Yeah.
No shame.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Even that the spin-off of that, right? There was another show with
the Golden Place.
with that
And
one.
it was Blanche. It was Blanche and Rose were the only two, and Don Cheadle was on it. But I only think it lasted for like a season or two.
It's just not the same.
Yeah. We did talk about you a little bit, Maria. Just that next time you need to be here when we have Tabitha on, so she's just not always surrounded by boys.
Yeah. Hey, Maria.
What about the monkey lizard? We got some diversity here. We got a monkey lizard.
Well, I don't know much about Zort's plumbing, so I don't know if Zort is a Mr. or Mrs. So
I think they're asexual.
Yep, a Svengebluten. That's right, pigs and a Svengebluten.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's definitely sad she's gone, but definitely just huge career. And I mean, yeah, if you really go back, I mean, not only beyond like how you like her even being on like Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, she had like her own variety show. She did radio. I think, like Tim said, she started out though as kind of like a model. I think
she did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was very pretty back in the day.
Yeah. So she had a impressive career. So she will definitely be missed, but she definitely left behind a lot of memories.
Gone, but never forgotten.
Exactly. Well, let's get into our main topic tonight and get into our favorite. As Matt said, basically invented TV.
I think Lucille Ball kind of did that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lucille Ball, if any of you guys have Amazon Prime, I highly recommend watching Being the Ricardos,
I saw the trailer
which is
for that.
about...
I 100% agree.
Nicole Kidman was Lucille Ball, and she doesn't look quite like Lucille Ball, but like they change her. She doesn't look like Nicole Kidman, that's for sure. Yeah. And if I apologize, I always feel like I say his last name wrong, but Javier Bardem is Desi Arnaz, and J.K. Simmons plays the actor that played Fred. It's really, really cool. It's really interesting. It focuses, though, on the start of the second season of The Lucy Show, and I was never aware of this, but Lucille Ball was accused of being a communist back in the day, and it was a huge scandal, and it's a lot of them kind of dealing with that with some flashbacks of some other moments of the show. There is a lot of swearing in it, particularly by Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball, which I can't imagine that's how Lucille Ball talked, but I think it's true. But yeah, very interesting movie, though. If you're able to check it out, I highly recommend it. But we'll get into our main topic about guilty pleasure movies, good, bad movies, and who wants to go first?
Not me.
I guess I'll start because I know what lies in the dark hearts of man. I think that's the right term. I haven't seen The Shadow in a long time, but I'll start with that. And I think I looked up the box office earlier. It was like 34 million domestic and international for the gross for The Shadow. I honestly think it's an underrated film for what it is. Alec Baldwin, I don't know if it was the right cast for Cranston, but it's fun to watch. I know it's bad, but it's fun to watch, and you can enjoy it for what it is.
No, I agree. I've seen it. I think it is a good movie. I think it is underrated. It was made in the early 90s when they were trying to do some superhero stuff again, but they it seemed like they were really, it was really tough to do anything that was like a current comic book. So there was kind of a fair amount of pulp comic figures, because we had the Shadow, we had Dick Tracy, we had the Phantom with Billy Zane is another one. But I think the Shadow's a cool movie. It's definitely worth watching. It's a period movie, which is neat. Definitely some weird things that they do in it, but it is. It's a fun movie to watch if you haven't seen it.
Did that come after or before Rocketeer?
That came after.
I think Rocketeer was one of the first. I think.
Yeah, Rocketeer was from '91. I want to say.
And I think Tracy was also before Shadow. I think Shadow when it was after Tracy too.
I want to say Dick Tracy, Rocketeer, the Shadow, and then the Phantom. So, I mean, I'll definitely agree that I think that's a good guilty pleasure movie. For sure.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since it first came out, so no comment.
I think the thing that probably hurt it the most was when Alec Baldwin kind of turns into the Shadow. He gets this very big, exaggerated, pointed nose. It looks like real rubbery. Because if you look at the art from that time, that's how he was drawn. That's how a lot of characters were drawn. They should have just had him look like Alec Baldwin. And I think that would have done better. Because I remember seeing that in the preview and that looks weird. It looks, like a Dick Tracy villain.
They tried to match the artwork from the radio dramas. So I think that's why they did. And I didn't mind it that much because he's supposed to be more of Yinko, the character he was in Mongolia. So I think the idea is that there was supposed to be two separate personas.
Yeah, there's that opening scene where he's like, the movie starts off with him, he's like an opium drug lord in Mongolia, and he's got like really long fingernails. They're like kind of like made me think of like a rat.
No, I'm thinking Splinter.
Yeah, like Splinter. That's what you'd expect Splinter to have. And he's kind of got like a setup like a little bit like Jabba the Hutt too. He's got some slave girls. He's got a bunch of henchmen, and then he's got his own version of Bibba Fortune. Anyway, I agree with you. I think that's a good bad movie to watch. What else you got for us, Tom? Or if anybody else wants to?
I'll let someone else go.
You let somebody else go.
I had some other ones.
Do you just want to run through your list? Because I said pick 3 to 5.
All right. Well, you already mentioned one of mine, which is the Phantom. So there's a little bit of a trend here. Again, I actually I was one of those people that watched that weird Phantom cartoon that came out in the 90s, where it was like the Phantom in the future, where you had the two laser staffs. So I'm actually a big Phantom fan. I like the lore of the entire series and the radio dramas and the pulp comics. I have those. I was really a fan of it. Like the family lineage, and somehow inexplicably they keep having males. That was the one thing that I always thought was little contrivance. But the movie I thought was, it has Catherine Zeta-Jones in it.
Billy Zane's in it, right?
Billy Zane plays Lamont Cranston. No, not Lamont Cranston.
The
the Phantom. I'm trying to remember his full name.
Mr. Phantom?
No. It's like it's Batman, right? It's a predecessor to Batman, because I'm pretty sure the Phantom came out before the Batman comics. If I'm not correct.
Yeah. Don't they don't they even ask him about why are you wearing purple
Kit Walker.
in the jungle?
Kit Walker. Yeah. That was his name.
Yeah.
It got to me.
Yeah. I like that movie too.
Very purple.
I liked it.
I mean, the outfit was a little bit corny. If they made it today, it would probably be like a leather, something like that.
Is that the guy with the ring?
Yeah, he has the skull ring.
Gosh, I haven't seen
skulls
that
of
since I was 7 years old.
Yeah, he's got the Lone Ranger kind of style domino mask.
Oh my gosh!
And then he's in a purple outfit though. It's like a purple onesie.
Yes. Yeah.
with, with like like a cow with just a big face cut out though.
Yeah, he was like the
Yeah.
Robin whole thing going on.
Yeah.
And actually, if you think about like Vision, kind of looks like him nowadays in Marvel with the design of his outfit. If you change the coloring a little bit, you have the similar.
And make it cool.
Hey, the Phantom's cool.
Yeah,
I don't know about WandaVision right now, but the Phantom's cool.
But still, it's like if you look at like Avery Cruz's chat message there, his A, it's purple like that.
Yeah.
Or like purple coming from this light up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking on the web right now, and it's pretty
Like
purple.
Barney
Yeah.
purple. Yeah.
I think I've seen it once. I haven't watched it since late '90s.
Yeah.
So
I know he doesn't have any like superpowers at all. He just relies on his strength.
super
It's
rich.
a myth. It's a myth, right? He's relying on the legend of his family.
Phantom, yeah.
You know, no one argues with the Phantom.
Yeah.
Now, really quick, going to a few of our people in the chat. Now, I don't think Stand By Me or The Outsiders is a bad movie, though, or like would be like a guilty pleasure. Those are both pretty good films.
Yeah, they're both good and guilty.
I was right.
You probably watch
Batman,
them a lot.
Phantom was prior to Batman. I'm sorry, I just looked at the chat, realized I was right.
Focus, Rogue.
Is that why Batman was a little bit better? They're like, okay, don't make him purple.
He was blue for a while.
And same thing. I'm not a huge Pacific Rim fan, but I always thought that was like a very critically acclaimed film.
And see, that's what I had an issue with when I was selecting my list. I'm like, guilty pleasures, like movies that I know people don't really like, but I do, or like Rogue was saying, like box office numbers, like.
Well, it can be both, though. I mean, you can take something that wasn't big at the box office, and a lot of people didn't like. I'll give you an example. Something that I would probably call, for some people that I know that are big fans of it.
Here it comes.
But I would call it a probably a guilty pleasure film. Is Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. Like that didn't make a lot of money, but I didn't care for it. But I know it's got its fans. There's some people out there that like love.
So are we
watching
really
Sky
looking
Captain.
at cult classics then? Like are we looking at for cult films technically? Or just below cult classics?
I'll put it this way.
Just below.
We're just talking about movies that some people would go, really? You really like that movie?
Yeah.
You really do?
I think
I watched it.
I would consider anything that's badly, that was like low quality in the production value, or something that did not do well at the box office, did not really have an audience until later on the video, which kind of is a cult classic too.
Okay.
Like you could technically call like Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of those things. It wasn't really big, but then later down the road, movie theaters started to show it as like a midnight showing.
I was gonna say it's pretty.
R2, you got some leather and lace down there or something? Have you been going to the Rocky Horror Picture Shows?
No, but I remember when I lived in Texas, there was a theater that was like the big thing. It was every Saturday night at midnight. They showed the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I remember asking them, like, what is that? I'm like, they're always showing the same movie. And my parents told me what it was, and I'm like, I don't want to go see that.
Yeah.
I was 10 at the time. It's like, I had no interest in that. But
I think one could argue the prequel trilogy is like a guilty pleasure. Because it's aged over time or whatever. I mean, especially compared to the sequel trilogy.
Well, and then for people who were kids then too, who did not experience the original trilogy, like that's their Star Wars too. That's where it also kind of found an audience later in life. I'm not a huge fan of the prequel trilogy. I love the original trilogy better, but over time, I definitely appreciate those films more than I did when they first came out. So
I really liked Phantom Menace. I was not so much in love with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I felt like they were kind of rushed. And Attack of the Clones was just kind of cheesy. Like I just kind of gagged at the romance. It was just so.
I felt the same way about Phantom Menace, like the way that I kind of felt when I left seeing The Last Jedi.
Oh, really? I really enjoy Phantom Menace.
Maybe not as negative, but I was like, that's Star Wars. Like that was just like my.
I was a
initial
kid
reaction.
when that came out, so I was just super excited that there was this movie that had like a kid that was part of the bigger plot, and I didn't know much. I mean, I had seen the originals, but I didn't really understand a lot of lore and everything. So I just thought it was a cool story, and I liked, I really loved the music, and that was something that stuck with me. Even as a child, I was like, I like this musical score. But yeah, I'm surprised how many people don't like Phantom Menace. I think it's great. But
Yeah,
I think you were
liked it
missing
'cause
the Qui-Gon
it was-
presence type thing in the other two.
yeah,
Like, I don't think
A
Obi-Wan
stability.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was my Star Wars in the first movie theater. Like, it was like, okay, cool. I got to wait in line for this. My dad told me about waiting in line for this. Like, oh, cool. This is my Star Wars.
Hey,
When was the
Vayner,
re-release for New Hope?
what did you mean by two? You caught a ton of clap for loving PR. You mean
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim,
Pacific
yeah.
Rim? Okay, so I was trying to figure out like what the hell is PR. Gotcha.
I was just
Okay.
curious. I don't know if anyone actually knows this. And it's a random question, but I remember going to see the re-release of A New Hope in theaters for the special editions. Was that before or after A New Hope? Phantom Menace.
That was before, so it was the 20th anniversary, and I remember that because that was when they initially he started to add the new scenes. So, like that's where you got through like Mos Eisley, where you saw like the speeder go by and the big old alien that looked like a dinosaur like lifted its legs up. You
Dewback.
You kind of got more of like the actual like dewbacks in the background. And updated a few other scenes. So yeah, that was all before Phantom Menace. That was like 2 years before. But yes, Avery, I definitely call that suggestion a good bad movie, guilty pleasure movie. If anybody's seen it, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Don't like clowns.
Either do I.
You really wouldn't like this movie.
Movie It still terrifies me. The first one, well, actually TV or what, the original one. Anyways,
I've never seen.
I was not allowed to watch that as a kid, so I never saw it. And then like later too, like when I kind of found out more about it, I was like, that doesn't seem scary. I'm like, I don't know why I was so sheltered from that movie as a kid, because everybody's like, oh, it'll scare you so bad, it'll give you nightmares.
Because it just depends on the kid. It would have horrified me. I would have traumatized me. I was very sensitive as a child. So.
Then again, though, like I was, for the longest time, I was terrified of Jaws.
No, see, I wasn't afraid of Jaws because Jaws just basically confirmed the fear I already had. So
it was a reaffirming movie for you, Tabitha?
Yeah, it really was a reaffirming movie. I enjoyed it, and it wasn't anything that I'm not any less scared of what lives in the ocean. Let me just, or any more scared.
I saw Jaws at a very early age, and it scared me so bad that I was like at the age of like 5, I was terrified to use the bathroom because I thought a shark could swim up to the toilet and bite my butt off.
I mean, I saw Jaws when I was an adult. So
you got like a shark coming out of like the sink. He was afraid to wash his hands.
When you're 5, anything can happen and be real. So if my dad is in the chat at all, he'll laugh because when I was 10, he took us to Universal and
the Jaws ride.
The Jaws ride. He made me sit on the edge, and I was terrified. I was like shaking because I was that scared of Jaws. He did it on purpose too. He knows he did it. Let's tell a story.
My dad did the same thing for the movie ride for the alien sequence. There were 2 sequences in the alien sequence on the movie ride, one on the side and one on the top. He put me on the left. He put me on the left side when the alien popped out with the mouth, and they spit it on you, and I freaked out and hit my brother in the face. But that's
good memories.
Was that taken after? Because you posted you posted a picture of you like at 10 at one of the parks, and you're like sitting on like a bench, and you've just got like the most upset, irritated look on your face.
Yeah, I got a talking to for hitting my brother because my dad was smart enough not to sit next to me, So he's like, oh, this is gonna be good. So he put me and my brother next to each other. My mom had no clue what was going on.
Is this older brother or little brother?
He's a year older than me.
Okay.
So, and we got to that scene. It's like the first time doing it, right? I have no clue what's going on. And all of a sudden, they're like, and I don't know what Aliens is. I was not that old. And we're going through, and the thing pops out, and I just freak out. I think I hit the kid in front of me. I acted like a Tasmanian devil. I'm like, I'm getting out of here. The ride shut down. The cast member came back to calm me down. My parents were furious. It was not good.
Let's
quite a
scene.
So,
yeah.
You must have freaked out like Andy did on The Office when, they thought the office caught on fire, and then Dwight throws the fireworks. He's like, the fire's shooting at us.
I was a gullible kid. I was a believable gullible kid. So yeah, I tried to run out of the thing, and it was not good for the rest of the people there. Let's just say that. It took like 45 minutes from the start to ride up again. I ruined some people's vacations, I think.
Because that's probably too, right? That was at that time was when that ride was fairly newer. That was a bigger, more attraction of that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that was an opening day attraction for it. Opened in like '89, and I think by the time we went there, it was like '95. I think that when we finally did that park where like we could go on those rides. Me and my brother, we were still kind of young before then, and that was like, yeah.
But the movie ride like goes at like 2 miles per hour. How could you have not ridden on it before? I see babies on that ride.
I think it was more that my parents didn't want to wait. So it's like, all right, because we didn't know what was going on. We were cognitive.
But back then though too, that was like like having to wait in that ride was better because that was when they kept like updated props in the queue for it.
And they also had air conditioning on. Like you would be frozen.
Yeah. And then once you got to the theater, at least you got to watch trailers while you stood and waited.
Yeah, they actually at the beginning they updated those actually every year, and then after '98,
I just thought it was trailers for what you saw on the ride.
No, they added some. They added new clips from what you saw on the ride every once in a while. So like from the same movie, just so it would be less boring.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll stop talking about attractions because we're getting off
Sorry.
topic. No, it's okay.
It's because I'm here. I'm part of Inside the Booth, and so it just kind of bleeds into other people's streams. I apologize, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll try to contain myself.
No.
Do you want me to go?
Sure, anybody can go. I mean,
okay. I never really kept up with box office numbers and stuff like that. This is a movie that I really enjoy and my family does, but I just until recently discovered that a lot of people don't seem to like this movie. Is the 1999 Matthew Broderick edition of Godzilla. I love that movie, but apparently big fans of Godzilla don't like it because it's not the real Godzilla and stuff. I'm like, I freaking love that movie. I could watch that movie once a week. Absolutely. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think they refer to that version as Zilla, is what he's known as.
Gojira.
He's not Gojira.
No, actually, that version.
In the movie, the old dude called him Gojira.
Yeah. He's not
Gojira, you moron.
Yeah, but no. That version of the character has showed up in, I think it's like Monster Wars or Godzilla Wars, and that one is known as Zilla in like the Godzilla lore now.
I think Sam said he liked that movie too. I think that was
yeah.
All right, Sam.
I liked it when it came out. Now I watch it and I'm like, man, this is cheesy. But at the time,
really, I think it's still great. I like the humor in it. I like the storyline. I think the graphics were still good, especially for its time. Like I love that movie.
I'm not saying it's like why would you want to watch that? That's definitely something fun to watch. Every once in a while. I don't disagree with you on that, but
the poster
that's not a movie that.
Yeah, the poster art is
for that movie though was nuts though. I mean, like, remember there was like buses had all like the billboards or like, its foot's longer than this bus. And
yeah, if you put that movie in a time machine, you would know that it really came from 2000.
I will say Hank Azaria and John Reno were the saving grace of that film for me.
Really?
Yeah, I liked when they come over to the States and they go to get coffee, and he's like, "No croissant," and he pulls out like a big old gas station glazed donut.
Right. Oh, you call these
takes,
me.
Yeah, he takes, and then later the guy, he's like, "Oh, it's not bad." He's like, "What did you do?" And he holds up a can of French roast.
Oui, ma café, French roast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
they try to sell it.
Too. Yeah, remember when they get stopped and he does the Elvis impression and they're all chewing
Well, no,
gum?
sir, I'm fine. Yeah. Elvis Presley, he was the king. I think it's so perfect because when they all get their sticks, I don't know if you guys know this, but literally people, the rest of the world, they call us the bubblegum chewers. That is classic American action.
Well, wasn't that in Die Hard A Vengeance too, or whatever? All the German or hidden police people were all chewing gum too.
My grandfather, it's a real thing. My grandfather, if I offer him gum, he won't take it. His father told him not to chew bubble gum because he said that's what Americans do. And
JT wanted to mention something.
Yeah. It came after Independence Day, and it was from the creators of Independence Day. So that was the tagline: is it Godzilla from the creators of Independence
Roland
Day.
Emmerich and Dean Devlin
you can go
are
see
the
it.
people that did Independence Day and they did Godzilla, and Japan was not happy. It was kind of like the same thing. They were like, "We're never letting you touch Godzilla again," and somehow they let the States touch him again and found better success. But it was like Nintendo with the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I love that movie.
man.
I quote it all the time. You're like, "You're going the wrong way, man. You're going the wrong way."
I remember watching that too and thinking, I'm like, this is what I was supposed to be seeing in those games. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I think Bob Hoskins could have played a great Mario though. If they gave him an actual Super Mario movie, I think he could have done a great.
Well, the other funny thing, the fun fact about that is, Vader's going to give me grief for that. He hates when I say fun fact. They were him and John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins. They were drunk during the production. They hated it, and they were bombed the whole time, and totally regretted signing on to this movie.
I like the little Koopa guys. They're all super tall, but they have these really little heads.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
That movie kind of creeped me out. It was weird.
Yeah, not only that too. It's Koopa wasn't a dinosaur. Neither were the Koopa Troopers. They were turtles.
Yeah, Bowser was kind of weird as well. It's either you go full in or you don't do halfway. That's what they're trying to do halfway.
Yeah, it was clearly written by people who had never played the game, any of the games.
And just saw Johnny Mnemonic.
Their job seriously.
Well, they just knew, they were like, "Oh, there's a dinosaur Yoshi, so everything must be a dinosaur."
And they knew they could sell it at the time because there was Super NES, and then there was.
So that came out. I want to say either that came out the weekend of Jurassic Park coming out, or it was the weekend after, and got obliterated by that.
Yeah, it made 379 million. Yep.
Super Mario did?
Never mind. Godzilla. Sorry, I was looking at Godzilla.
If it did better than The Shadow, I would have been upset.
$1 million.
Be like, if that's the case, and I think we all could put our heads together and make a better movie. I mean, I'm okay if we only made 200 million. I'm just saying.
Well,
I wonder what the budget was, though. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you guys saw it today, but somebody, I think it was Lethal or Yellow Flash, was something imagine living in a world where a movie studio decides not to go with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and go with Ezra Miller and I forget somebody else, just talking about the fact that there's a rumor that they're going to erase the Snyderverse.
Oh.
Oh, the Grace Randolph stuff, the DC.
Yeah.
reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're plugging Michael Keaton back in, like, in the Flash movie and in the Batgirl movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I like Michael Keaton, but come on,
It's gonna be a
Batfleck,
passing the
bring him
torch
back.
thing,
He's
and
kind of old.
Well, it'd be more fitting if they did like Batman Beyond, if that's what they were gonna do.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll get a Terry McGinnis.
Yeah.
You'll probably get a Terry McGinnis, but it's a girl.
So with Terry, I was like, that can be a girl name. So
True.
yeah.
You have
What
another
else
one,
do you
Tabitha?
guys-
I do. Let's save the best for last. So I love this movie, and again, I think like you guys were saying earlier, it's like I don't think it was widely received when it first came out, but as the years have progressed, it has developed a following. Is Willow? I could watch Willow once a week. I love that movie, probably more than Godzilla. I think it's. I remember watching some other YouTubers, and they were discussing Willow, and they were intoxicated at the time, and they were saying Willow is one of these movies where it shouldn't have worked, but for some reason it did work. And I agree. It's a little bit cheesy, but somehow that is more endearing than it is cheesy. And it's just a good, wholesome story with really interesting characters. I like Willow a lot.
Yeah,
I've seen
no,
it, but I don't
Willow was
remember
very
it.
underrated.
Mhm.
I agree. I would call that more of a cult movie than like a guilty pleasure, though, because it's not a bad movie at all. It just, it was a movie they did not know how to market it at the
Dan
time.
doesn't like Willow. Can you believe it?
I'm done. I'm unsubbed right
Right?
Yeah, Dan live streams out of his basement, so what can you expect?
At least it's not Van down by the river.
Oh, I do. I love it.
Exactly. Peck.
It was just such a good movie. I think it had its own, if you will, its own little language. Like, calling the little people peck, that has no relation to our world out here. And so, and it's kind of a harsh sounding word, but you can't really say it's bad. But it just worked really well.
I think the thing after watching that recently, because we did a review of it, Maria and I, and we had Ro from Scurriff, Scuttlebutt. His
I don't say scurriff. I say scurriff.
No, but Dan and David said Scurriff. He's like, we're going on the Scurriff Scuttlebutt podcast.
Because I thought Ro tagged me, and I'm like, am I saying it wrong every time?
No, it's that. And all I have to say is, if you did not know Dan and David at all, and who they are and what they're about, you would go, these guys are high right now.
Yeah.
They totally so, because they're like, yeah, so go on over there. And then David's like, this is the best part of the movie.
David has
Dude,
admitted,
where's my car? That's Dan and Dave.
David has admitted that both he and Dan have what he calls arena brother charisma, where they think they're being dynamic, but when they talk to other people, they realize that it's not quite as exciting as they thought it was in the beginning, because they're just enjoying each other's time.
I know.
But it still brought entertainment.
Yeah.
It just wasn't quite what
They couldn't have scripted that any better than that turned out. Oh, it was such gold. I loved it. But we did Willow, and I totally forgot what I was going to say now. The best thing though I like about that film is I like the old wizard in the Little People Village who like admits to like Willow, like, I'm just making it up.
Right.
Like, which finger you pick doesn't mean anything. And he's like, we're going to follow the bird. And he's like, the bird's going back to the village. Never mind the bird.
Or when Finn Rizal, he's like, what do you look like when this is all finished? And she's like, I am a beautiful young woman with, like, I don't know, flawless skin or whatever. And she transforms into this old woman.
Yeah.
Like, it's been some years there, Rizal.
You know who would have been a good Finn Rizal, though? Betty White.
Betty White. Bring it back. Yep.
Maybe they asked her. She was just too busy at the time.
Very
she was big
possible.
time. So.
Yeah. Sam, how about you? You've been awful quiet. You got anything guilty pleasure or something where it's a bad movie, but yet, man, you love it?
Yeah, actually, Matt Vader said it correct. His chat, he was saying Sahara, the Matthew McConaughey movie. So I love that movie. I really enjoyed it, but it's actually classified as one of the most expensive flops of all time. It's
Really?
Yeah, it really doesn't it's not the script per se. I don't know, maybe it must have been the marketing or something. Um, as a story, as far as characters are concerned, um, it was all there, but somehow, I mean, 3 quarters into the movie, I was, it's like off to a great start and everything, but 3 quarters of the movie in, you kind of know it was heading to a fizzle out. And if you see the dynamics between Matthew McConaughey and Steve Zahn, the main characters, Dirk and Al, they had this great uh, buddy thing going on, and Penelope Cruz and Matthew McConaughey, they had this great romance going on. We have William H. Macy in that movie as Admiral Sandbecker. He was a great character, but somehow the movie never took off, and
I don't know
uh,
why.
yeah, and the production had a lot of these scandals as well. In
Oh.
Yeah, they bribed officials in Morocco. They did some illegal things when it came to the cheap labor in Morocco. So a lot of things in the background, but I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
The movie never, I mean, towards the end, the climax scene and everything, the set piece, it was underwhelming. But I don't know, maybe the Matthew McConaughey, Steve Zahn, that chemistry that they had, it was all there, but somehow it never. But I enjoy watching the movie, but nobody else would sit through it. They're like, hey, it's kind of boring.
Sam,
I've never seen it.
I would sit with you and watch that movie. I love that movie. That's actually
All
in my
right.
family. We're like, if we don't know what to watch, like when we get together and we're like, hey, let's watch a movie. What do you want to watch? I'm like, I don't know. Well, like, just put either Godzilla or put Sahara on.
Or
Love
Willow.
Sahara.
Oh, nice.
My dad's not so into Willow like
Oh,
my mom
okay.
or my brother.
Was I the only one thinking about the 1943 Humphrey Bogart film in the beginning then?
That
Yes.
was the first Clive Cussler book we made, right? I think. Oh,
'Cause
no,
that's
no,
what
this is another
we were
one.
talking
Oh,
about
okay,
until we
okay.
heard Matthew McConaughey. I'm sorry.
Matthew
All right,
McConaughey's that
all
old. He just
right.
ages
all
well.
right, all
Oh,
right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Matthew
out it.
McConaughey is just that old, so he just ages well.
Right, exactly. It's the smile.
That's one movie I selected. Another one was John Carter. I think Tom also wanted to talk about this movie.
Yes.
Just when they announced John Carter, I checked up who the director was, and it was like Andrew Stanton, the guy who directed Bugs Life, Wall-E, Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
So I was like all excited, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I realized that there's this huge a series called the Barsoom series. So I think I read four or five books. I was
It was
ready
about
for the
7
movie.
or 8, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember reading back to back all these books after work, and
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the movie, but nobody was on board. Everyone is like, it's boring. And I'm like, okay, it never took off.
I like you, Sam. You got great taste.
Isn't the first book called
Thank you.
Princess of Mars, though? Or is it called John Carter of Mars?
I
book-
think it's
John
Queen of
Carter.
Mars. Is it
Princess
something-
of Mars.
Princess of
Okay.
Mars. Yeah.
Princess of Mars, yes.
And that's got, like,
I think that's part of the reason why they had issues was the titling of calling it John Carter and sort of disconnecting it from the fan base that there was for those series of books.
They should have called it John Carter of Mars to at least
Yeah.
have that in there.
Yeah.
Because you just say John Carter, and most people today don't read. They don't know that this was based off of a book. And at the time when I watched it, I didn't know either. I just really enjoyed the story, and then eventually I discovered the books. And Edgar Rice Burroughs has become one of my favorite classic writers. He wrote Tarzan and all that stuff. And the books are it's literally an epic, an odyssey of epic.
Yeah.
And I mean, the cast has a lot of good people in it. Willem Dafoe is Tars Tarkin, the main chieftain of the
Jadak.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the right name.
Yeah, you got Tim Riggins from Friday Night Lights. So that's the main guy.
Yeah, and I don't think he was bad for the role of John. I don't think there was cast wrong. I think it was just marketed poorly, and Disney didn't put enough effort behind it marketing wise.
Yeah, I don't know what Disney why they're like that. Sometimes they'll produce like they have all the money in the world, but I've noticed I've talked about that with somebody else recently. It's like they'll make these movies and it's almost like they know they're not going to be as great or widely received. So they just make movies to make movies, but they don't push them as much as, other Disney films. And I'm like, what's all that for? Because this is a really good story. Now they did tone down John Carter's character and they did raise up Deja Thoris's character a little bit. And I have to say, normally I wouldn't be for too many changes, but I have to say, as a female, I kind of appreciated that they gave her a little bit more brain in this story than in the book. In the book, she's literally just the gorgeous damsel in distress.
Yes.
She doesn't bring much to the table besides her body. So, I appreciate that they made her something with more substance besides the fact that she was super attractive. But they did tone down John Carter's warrior, battle-hardened, mindset and kind of.
Sometimes you got to wonder when they do this kind of stuff too, is there like a really bad disconnect between, the studio having the marketing people talking to the filmmakers? Like almost like, the filmmakers, like, they're like, I don't know, it's guy from the 1800s. He goes into space and he can jump high.
Well, I mean,
aliens,
This happened again with the guy who did The Incredibles, directed Tomorrowland, right? And they had a good cast built up and stuff like that, and it still failed because it was marketed poorly. And the story for Tomorrowland wasn't as good as John Carter's, in my opinion. I think there was an original story from them trying to, bring people into the parks and stuff and connect it that way. But it's still the same thing. You had someone that was Pixar directing, saying, "All right, you do this many films for us, then we'll give you a live action feature in your contract," type of deal.
Or do you think if it maybe had a different actor in it that would have done better for it? Like example, like let's say it had Hugh Jackman in it instead of I can't think of his name now, but
Taylor
the guy
Kitsch.
who played Taylor Kitsch, or if Tim was in it instead of Taylor Kitsch, it would have done better.
Hey, Friday Night Light fans love Tim Riggins, so they probably saw it because of that movie.
I mean, they have like Mark Strong in it as well, and Mark
played
bad.
We have six people on this panel, and only one person's a Friday Night Lights. I was in Friday Night Tights.
Yeah, that's what I thought JT was going to in the beginning.
Friday Night Lights fan, so there may not have been enough there to really pump up that movie. They might have been disappointed when it wasn't about football either. So,
but then that guy was this movie made before or after Wolverine or X-Men Origins or whatever it was? Because both of those characters, both those the actress and the actor were in there. Gambit and whatever her name is.
That's right.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
I want to say John Carter was after that had been made.
Yes.
This is 2012.
But he kind of makes me think of. He's like the guy who Taylor Kitsch, and then what's his name? Who's Captain Boomerang in Suicide Squad?
John Cena.
No, that's Sam Worthington.
Oh.
No, not Sam Worthington.
Sam Worthington is the Clash of the Titans guy.
Yeah.
But both of those guys, the people I'm talking about, did do Terminator films.
Yes. Yeah.
Gosh, somebody in the chat, if they know who that is, let me see if I can look that up.
He was in Jack Reacher too. He played the bad guy in Jack Reacher.
Yeah, he's the bad guy in Jack Reacher.
Jai Courtney.
Yeah,
Jai Courtney. I was like, it's to me, Taylor Kitsch, Jai Courtney, Sam Worthington are all people that like can't like ever catch a break when they've had him be a star of the movie. I mean, the one exception is Avatar, but that didn't really do anything for Sam Worthington's career. Like in terms of getting him.
Yeah.
Continuously big roles. I mean, I think that guy's making straight to video stuff.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
These days. So I've always wondered too if that was just the other thing. It's not that Taylor Kitsch is like a bad actor, but is there just something not marketable about him? Because he also did Battleship too, and that bombed.
Yeah.
That was a bad movie.
Yeah. I think it's choices they make or whatever. It's like when they read the script. Like if you notice, DiCaprio is very selective, but he can be selective. So
I will say John Carter did at least make past its budget, so it was profitable, kind of.
Oh.
But what was its
No.
marketing though too? They never factor
Yeah.
in marketing with that.
Actually,
So
they actually wrote down $200 million, so it went on to become the biggest box office bombs of all time.
Oh, they rounded it
So
down.
yeah, so that's why it's. I think there was a lot of infighting. The head of the studios at the time, Rich Ross, he was fighting with the Pixar studios as well. So I think that's where the movie was mismanaged.
Avery Cruz mentioned a couple of good ones. Weekend at Bernie's. What about Bob?
I like those.
What about Bob? Isn't a bad film.
I know Eddie and the Cruise. I've heard of it. I've never watched Eddie and the Cruise.
Eddie and the Cruise is an old movie, but I don't know if it's bad.
Yeah.
It's just old.
Weekend at Bernie's though is just absurd.
Don't like that
Because
movie.
when you guys reviewed it, we watched it, the wife and I, like the day before, and we're just like, I'm like, how did they make this movie? Like, okay,
Why is this movie a success? Was my thing too. Like, why is this something that people are always talking about? And how did I have to say that after I watched the film, and then I did not like it, but then I was like, a small part of me wants to watch the sequel because I'm like, what are they going to do with the dead body again? Like, what are they going to do?
So they resurrect him with voodoo magic.
Yep.
And like he hasn't decomposed at that point too. That's like the other thing, you know.
It's magic.
Like clearly Bernie should have been looking like, you know, a background zombie from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
When the sequel came.
Oh my gosh, that's that movie magic.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was an even worse version of John Carter that came out a couple years later.
Really?
The Asylum version.
Oh,
The
Princess
Asylum.
of
Yes,
Mars.
I was just gonna say it's called like the Crazy House or something. The Asylum
Yes. Yeah.
Studios. That's a studio that cashes in on big name movies, and then they make a really crappy low budget version of it, where they did like they did Iron Man and Thor.
The Transformers, I think.
They did Transmorphers.
Yeah.
And I think too, like they do, like, you know, they're like the production company behind like Sharknado and
There's an idea for you, R2. Best Asylum films.
Oh man, gosh,
It's gonna be a solid no.
no,
Yeah.
no.
I'm trying to politely say
Let's
to the
keep it
nah.
positive here. Let's keep it positive.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's all you, Tom. Go for it.
Do that on your channel. You can.
Yeah. Well, so we were talking about Sahara, and I was gonna say John Carter. There was something else, another movie I want to say somebody had mentioned in there, but
Tim, have you mentioned yours?
We did John Carter, Sahara.
Yeah, I'll bring up one. Spider-Man 3. I'm sure everyone's seen that one. Right? Everyone's seen that? Spider-Man 3?
It's been a long time.
Yes.
what's Spider-Man?
The one with
I don't know who
they-
Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah. You know, he shoots little webs and he goes like this, and you know, somehow bit by a spider, wears a red
Do you sing the
top,
song,
yeah.
Tim?
I can't. My throat's sore today. I bet Tabitha can.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Anyway.
Yep. But no, I feel like since the first two were super solid, in my opinion, the third one, everyone came crashing down just because there was like emo Parker. When I watched it, I thought it was funny. It was ridiculous, but it was so ridiculous that I thought it was funny, and it's aged on me as well.
Was it meant to be though? Like that was like the tough thing, because it's like, are they trying to be serious here with this, you know, or is it like all meant to be tongue in cheek?
Both.
I think both. Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't really. If you think about it, Toby, wasn't really that type of guy. He was just kind of a nice guy.
Well, Not only that, like that's like the biggest cliche where it's like, let's go to the jazz house.
I mean,
You know, the
a
jazz
fun
club.
comic movie. Like
I don't know, but like,
I mean, it's like besides the emo part, it's really not that bad. I like the Sandman character was really good.
yeah,
The end fight scene I thought was pretty good. I know they nuked Venom. Obviously, they nuked him bad, but I mean, I still like it. It has that like feel. I kind of feel like I'm at home again watching it. And maybe I'm biased because I like Tobey Maguire as the best Spider-Man. So, yeah.
If you watch them all together, it fits pretty good. But if you were to watch it one off, you'd probably pass. But,
Yep.
I think it had too many villains.
yeah.
I agree. I agree with that.
I do remember
There's this one dialogue where Tobey Maguire's character says, "Where do all these guys come from?" Yeah.
Yeah. But you could argue though with No Way Home, there's a lot of villains, but they executed it properly. I don't
Yes.
think. Yeah. They just
you
didn't
could do
execute
it
it
right.
properly because Spider-Man's always had like a rogues gallery of characters, and just like Batman, it seems like he's always going after multiple characters. So
Well, I was only the
Yeah.
problem
Yeah,
with
no, I
my.
agree. I mean,
sorry.
no. Too many villains, and just it was executed poorly.
Yeah.
That was my only problem with the Raimi trilogy in the first place, was them killing off villains. I just thought that I understand you can't justify how to imprison those people in that universe. They didn't make up a system of that, but it would have been more impactful if, like, you got to see Doc Ock again. He didn't pass, and I guess they did that later.
yeah. No, I agree with that because like. Yeah, I feel like at that point in time they were still kind of experimenting with the superhero formula. Because when did the first one come out? Like 2003, but like it was a very new
2002.
thing. Yeah, and then the time we get to No Way Home, they have literally everything. They have established like you can literally get snapped out of the universe by a purple man with rings. So like anything is possible. Like advancement in technology. So I don't think they were just like, at that quite level from that start. That was like, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like the other thing though too that really kind of changed from that time point, because even with X-Men and Spider-Man, they, especially like Spider-Man 1 and 2 are really good movies, but you could kind of tell they didn't quite take the source material seriously 100%. I felt like, and that's kind of the big difference. I feel like with comic book movies nowadays, not all the time, not always, but we've
They
got
probably
more
wanted to
movies that are,
exercise some creative liberty, rather than just making something
Well-
exactly. Because if you stick to just the story, and I get where movie people, when they take either books or comic books and try to turn them into films, it's like, if you make it exactly like the source material, then there's no new surprise, right? And so if you take the
Sure.
fundamentals of the characters and the fundamentals of the powers and then adapt it into its own original kind of story, I think that's kind of where in the beginning, when a lot of these superhero movies came out, that's kind of the thing. It was like, stick to the source material for the foundation, but let's get a little creative, because otherwise what's coming. And that's kind of something that irritates me a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, about the MCU currently, is the fact that I don't necessarily keep up with all of the characters. I don't have a lot of background knowledge about all of the characters. So I'm cool with whatever comes out because I am kind of ignorant going into it. I just see it as it is, but I'm surrounded by a bunch of people that know the background, and they're like, well, this doesn't make sense because Dr. Octopus shouldn't have done that, and Doctor Strange, he never did this. And it's like, if you make it exactly like the source material, then everybody knows what's coming. And so I think, exactly, kind of exploring a little creative liberty, but obviously that didn't go over so well with the fans with a lot of the newer stuff, because they're like, well, this,
Well, not only that, but I was gonna say, like, sometimes in like some of those early comic book movies too, like they got like a little like Batman-ish with like some characters like being like overacting. I felt like there's kind of like a lot of that, where definitely though, like, when the MCU came along, everybody was very serious. They like, you didn't necessarily, they weren't trying to be like, see, you're watching a comic book movie here. I mean, they took it all seriously. Is kind of the big difference, I feel like, between those, those early 2000 movies and now.
Question, and this is just a random thought. With all the rights issues coming up, does the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire one technically own to Sony because of him being the only one with organic web shooters? Like, that's their 25% difference compared to Garfield or
Veto.
Tom Holland?
That's off topic. Veto.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
That is a little off topic, but no, I want to say that had more to do with they're like, how do we explain a kid in high school making a chemical that is stronger than any industrial adhesive and then dissolves after 6 hours.
Right.
And he manufactures it all himself. So
have you never heard of Dexter's Laboratory, R2? Please, it's totally possible.
Yeah.
Totally possible.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that's where they went with like the organic. That's the rhyme and reason behind that, and then realize, people again, they know Spider-Man made his own webbing. We want to see him make his own webbing.
See, and me not knowing that originally, I didn't know that. I wasn't so into the comic books that I mean, I've read some of them, but not like the origins. I didn't know that it was an actual device. I thought it came from him organically. To me, that made more sense because the whole superpower thing. So I was actually a little bit disappointed when I found out that it wasn't a substance that he created physically himself.
Yeah, I think that was just more for pacing, just easier to explain. But yeah, I remember. It was kind of their big thing about that, but
yeah.
I don't know. I was gonna say, to me, I also I feel like Spider-Man 3 is kind of like a Star Wars prequel movie to me. Like, I like it, but it's definitely flawed.
Well, then it fits right in here with what we're talking about.
Yep. What about Mortal Kombat? The first
all
one.
of them.
The first one was a good movie, in my opinion. I liked the first one.
First one's fun.
Yeah.
Have you watched the second?
Fan of video games.
Has anybody watched the second one?
Annihilation had Nightwolf in it. That was cool. You got to see the animalities or whatever they called them.
I mean, definitely the 95 one and the one that they just released, I could definitely see being cult classic-y, guilty pleasure movies, because they have their moments, but they're
Cringe.
Cringe,
Yeah. That cheese.
But so I've got one that I like. I know it's a bad movie, but there's something about it that I think it's good. I just like watching it, and that's Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage.
No.
I don't know that one.
So the thing I think I like about it is I feel like it was like a thrown away script for a Ghost Rider movie, because it's borderline Nicolas Cage playing Ghost Rider but not Ghost Rider. He's a guy who he's died. He gets sent to hell. He escapes hell to save his granddaughter from a killer cult leader who's played by one face expression lady from Twilight. What's her name?
Kristen Stewart.
I almost said Kristen Bell. Yeah, Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart's dad.
Oh, we gotta get in
Kristen
Twilight
Stewart's
later.
dad.
Yeah, her dad plays the evil cult leader, and then William Fincher plays. I think he's called like the accountant. He's a guy from hell trying to retrieve Nicolas Cage and bring him back because he wasn't supposed to escape. It does have Amber Heard in it before she was big.
Before she was bad.
She was big and before she was pooping in people's beds. Tabitha doesn't know this. She pooed in her and Johnny Depp's bed and just left it there.
And blamed it on the dog also.
Yeah. Blamed it on it. Let's put it this way: the dog was a Yorkie. That was not a Yorkie doo-doo.
It's like bigger than the Yorkie.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's how the name
Off the rails
Albert
again.
Bird came.
So yeah, we're not going to get into this any further, but yeah, she did.
Now, tell me that's not white privilege.
I think it's more female
That's-
privilege, maybe.
That's really celebrity privilege, is what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what that is. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, RT,
Mhm.
you were saying before we were saying.
Go down turds.
Yeah. Before the dookie.
She left a floater for Aquaman in the sheets.
Oh no.
But no, it is. It's a it's a ridiculous movie. It wasn't a big movie at all, but it is. It's just like the cheesiness is awesome of the film.
It kind of
That
reminds
is
me of
one
like
of my
grindhouse films, like an old
It is.
exploitation film.
Yeah, it is a little bit. But yeah, it does though make me think of Ghost Rider. I think that's why I like it. And then it's kind of tough to kind of throw them in this category because they're making fun of them. But I love watching Mystery Science Theater, which all they do is make fun of old bad movies too. But there's even been a few bad movies that I've found out of there where I'm like, even watching the movie, even though it's a badly made film, it's still kind of like enjoyable to watch it. Like it's so bad it's good.
I feel that way about G.I. Joe, the 2009 movie. Like, it's not the best made movie, but I could watch that. Like, it's a little adventure story that I don't mind watching.
Wait, 2009, is that the one with Marlon Wayans, or is that the one with the Rock?
No, Marlon Wayans and Channing Tatum.
The first one.
Okay, the first one, yeah.
First one.
Yeah, that certainly is. It was, cheesy and ridiculous, but that is a fairly fun movie to watch.
Yeah, I know that it was a disappointment to a lot of people, but like I enjoyed it.
I
Just
feel that way
because-
about the original Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There's a rated R version of Power Rangers out there, fan fame or fan
Oh
film.
yeah, with Dawson's Creek. And
If you're a fan of Power Rangers, you should check it out. It's like a rated R version of
gosh, I can't
Power
think
Rangers.
of her name. Who is Starbuck on? We're watching it right now, Tabitha. Battlestar Galactica.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff is the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, in this film.
Oh yeah, it's like, man, if they were to make a movie of Power Rangers, it should be that movie.
Yeah. Like, they really take it seriously in that. And somebody big, like, directed that, too. I can't think of who it is.
Yeah, I remember. It's on
Yeah.
YouTube, I think. You can find it.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube.
Howard the
Yeah.
Duck.
Howard the
Yes.
Duck. Yeah, that's...
Howard
I-
the Duck.
I love that as... this movie as a kid. Thought it was great. It's horrendously terrible watching it now, but still...
Had my crush in it.
Hey,
Had my
but-
crush
yeah.
in it.
Oh
Yeah, Leah Thompson.
Yeah,
Um,
that was a great part of the movie.
So, and I have a small connection to some people who worked on that
Howard
film.
the Duck.
Yeah, so there was a husband and wife writing team that worked with George Lucas, and at the moment I can't think of their names, but they had worked with George Lucas from the original Star Wars, or they might have even did American Graffiti with him up until Howard the Duck. That's the last thing they worked on. But the wife was the mother of an acquaintance of mine back in California, and her mom was responsible really for creating the character of Princess Leia, like fleshing her out, giving her her actual character that that we saw Carrie Fisher portray. Because I guess prior to her, like, George Lucas did not know what to do with Princess Leia and really bringing her to life. And I'm trying to think of her name right now. Who did
Interesting.
it? But yeah. She passed away a couple years ago. I felt bad because very few people talked about it too, and I was like, man, we would not have had Princess Leia without this woman creating her. The last thing they worked on together was Howard the Duck, and after that, this husband and writer, they stopped working on films.
I've never seen Howard the Duck. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a comic book character, so they try to put him in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. So he was Marvel Comics character, and he was always like a space character too.
Yeah, he was like
I wanna say.
Rocket. You know, he's like a weird
Kind of, yeah. And
I think I do have some Howard the Duck comics. I might have to pull them out.
yeah. And then we can see we got Aim and Fate in here, and riff tracks. I love riff tracks too. Same thing, cinematic Titanic. You can find a ton of the Mystery Science Theater, the riff tracks, and the cinematic Titanic, and the film crew on the Tubi app, which is awesome.
Yep. I like the Titanic.
Yeah, I got to go see Cinematic Titanic live in San Francisco. I can't think of what movies we watched. I know the second one was Rattlers, which was pretty funny, and then I got to meet all the people who did the riffing. They were so nice and wonderful, and so down to earth. And then I've done a few of the Phantom events where they do the riff tracks live. Those are always pretty good. I think they've gone back to doing it, and they actually do it in a theater in Nashville, which is really weird. I don't know why, because those guys are all in Minnesota. But one of these days, I would love to buy tickets and go watch it live in the actual theater. It's so cool. You can't really see it because of my name blocking it, but that shelf behind me, I've got every single Mystery Science Theater box set that's available right now.
Nice.
So,
Fancy.
Yeah.
R2, was the name of the lady Gloria Katz?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, maybe it took me a while to think of that. And then I had to
that's
Google
who
it.
At least I'm almost certain that's who it was.
I like Street Fighter. Unlocking more area. I like the Street Fighter. It's super cheesy, but I liked it.
The one of the '90s Street Fighter.
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah,
It was just a Tuesday.
There's some crazy stuff about that movie. What was the bad guy?
Bison.
Bison. Yeah, his character. He died after that movie.
Yeah,
he was sick during that movie. Yeah.
For how much he hammed that roll up, I mean, he was great.
I think he was dying during that movie. Like they were trying to keep him alive. And
he had gotten his illness, and he had hit it from everybody. I want to say, yeah.
Because he was an Addams Family, right? He was the dad.
Gomez.
Yeah.
Yes.
An awesome Gomez.
I liked him as that bad guy. He was pretty good in that movie.
Yeah, for as cheesy as I want to say.
Who said Street Fighter? Was that Tim?
Street
That's
Fighter
Maria.
was.
Maria.
Maria said that.
Okay.
As cheesy as that was, they did do a good job though of kind of portraying each character from that series at the time, because like everybody that they had in the video game was in there.
It was the first Avengers assembling.
Yeah.
I agree with Double Dragons, Maria.
Ooh, Double Dragons.
Oh,
Ooh,
geez.
nice. That was
I actually think the cartoon was probably better portrayal, but I do like the movie.
I'll tell you what, dude. There's an awesome YouTube Street Fighter series that we should check out, and Mortal Kombat. It's done better than the movies, and so is the Mortal Kombat one too. Yeah. It's about the Street Fighter one's about Ryu and Ken's journey, training with their master, and then Akuma is like the big baddie or whatever, or the spin-off, because he's tempted by the dark side essentially. But I forgot what it's called, but yeah.
Is it like a channel, Tim?
Let me look it up. I haven't watched in a while. I watched it as soon as it came out, so it's been out for several years. But
speaking of Street Fighter, recently I just read the character Raul Julia, right? The guy who played Bison. He did this character for his kids, so that his kids could. Yeah, so it was like he just wanted to do it for his child or something. That was very nice, actually.
I know a lot of actors will do that especially if they're like known for, if you will, more adult themed movies, rated R, cussing, blood and gore. Sometimes, like, isn't it The Rock that all of a sudden started doing like the Tooth Fairy and things like that, so that his kids would be able to watch him in a movie, and there's other actors that do that too. I think that's nice.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I can't not mention my man Brendan Fraser. Does anybody like Journey to the Center of the Earth with Josh Hutcherson?
I need to watch it.
So I haven't seen that. We watched the other one last night with The Rock though, and it wasn't too bad.
That one's not as good in my opinion as the first one.
I like the Mummy movies.
No, Brendan.
Oh yeah, well, but the Mummy movies are great. Like they're guilty.
The third one isn't that.
Oh, the third one totally sucks because the whole dynamic shifted. But yeah, I like Journey to the Center. That's another just kind of easygoing, good feel movie. Like you don't have to worry about anything in it, and it's just like a solid story. It's not necessarily Emmy award winning, but it's a good movie. Like something you can watch on a Sunday afternoon.
If you want some Brendan Fraser, you can do George of the Jungle.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
It's okay. It's funny. It's goofy. It wasn't necessarily.
Encino Man was my favorite Brendan Fraser movie.
Oh yeah, is he like No Squeezing the Juice, or is that the other one?
Pauly Shore.
That's just Pauly Shore.
Yeah.
Can say I
Dudley Do-Right was good.
Oh man,
yeah.
Dudley Do-Right was. I liked it.
Encino Man, you have to see that movie. It's so fun.
I'll have to look.
Fun. It's pretty much he's like a caveman that gets defrosted.
Didn't someone say earlier in the chat, Blast from the Past?
Yeah, someone did say. I think it was
did.
Avery. Yeah, Blast from the Past.
That one is pretty good too.
I wouldn't call it a bad movie.
But it's not my guilty pleasure. It's not something that I run to.
I wouldn't turn it off if it was on TBS. But
it's not something you're like, I want to watch a movie. What do I want to watch?
I don't think I would not.
I would not
in
pick
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have one that I'm not sure if anyone's sure about, but there's two. But I'll go ahead with the first one. I've always liked it because when I was a kid, my parents had HBO, and then I was sick one day, and I was like, I'm just gonna find a movie on HBO. They're not around. I'm gonna watch it. And I came across Cabin Boy, and that is with Chris Elliott, and basically he's like this snobby rich kid that has to go to a fancy lad school, and he has to travel with some ornery pirates or ship folk, and they turn him into a man, and they make him not a fancy lad, but it's a pretty hilarious movie because I don't know if you know Chris Elliott. He's been in Something About Mary and a couple others.
I don't think I know that movie. I don't think I know.
Oh, I died when I was sick. It made me laugh so much that I felt better. And yes, but every time I mention it, everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Just go watch it. You'll probably get a kick out of it." And it's called The Cabin Boy.
The movie poster's cool.
Oh, it's got everybody in it. It's got Brian Doyle Murray, which is Bill Murray's brother. Everyone's got a fisherman accent. David Letterman's in it.
What constitutes a fisherman's accent there, JT?
Artie, matey, that kind of stuff.
Pirate,
A pirate,
some kind of West Coast Irishman.
Mr. Krabs is in this
Yeah. I mean, and they all travel together, and it's got that adventure type feel, like almost like you're watching I can't remember it now. Actually, it's losing in my mind, but it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun watch.
One of the posters is saying it's a contentious classic that angered a nation. Why?
Yeah.
Fancy title.
Never heard of it, so I don't know how.
No, it's not very PC. The boat is basically called the Filthy, whore. So it's pretty fun.
Gotcha.
It's one of those movies that whenever I find it, I will definitely rewatch it because it reminds me of when I was really sick one day and just got a kick out of it.
Going with JT with the boat theme, how many here are fans of Captain Ron?
Right here.
Oh, yeah.
Same reason why I
So-
watched Cabin Boy was because I watched Cabin Ron and then I came across Cabin Boy and I was like, maybe it'll be the same type of thing, but it's completely like a SNL type comedy. So
Yeah, Drunk wanted to know, are you guys wearing the same shirt?
No, I'm wearing
I-
something that looks nice.
His shirt doesn't look nice.
What's wrong with my shirt?
Well, it just hit me that Tom's shirt does match his lizard monkey. So
Hmm.
was that a camouflage thing going on?
I just threw on the yellow shirt.
See,
I don't know why.
I carefully selected what I was going to wear for this
Mhm.
evening. So
I made sure to
I'm
wear the
sorry.
merch. I made sure to wear the merch. Get that going. So
Thank you, TD. Appreciate that.
I have
I
to
was
make sure
like,
that I work with
"Hey,
my
Diddy."
background. to do that.
I carefully selected mine too. I was just like, yes.
Yes.
He has to stay on
Again,
brand.
I was saving this for tonight, and I'm just so disappointed that Dan is not in here
he
to
said
see
he was
this
gonna
awesome
come by.
shirt.
Come
he
on,
said he was
Dan.
gonna come by.
I love it so
I know.
much. I am. I can just hear it. Like I look at your shirt and I can hear it.
Come
Well,
And then you have to
you're
follow
welcome.
up with,
you're welcome, R2.
I know. Well, yes. If you want to see yourself in a comic book form, please see that man down in the corner over there. JT will make you look like you jumped off the pages.
I might be hitting you up, JT. Got an idea.
I would, but I like the fact that my body is proportioned to itself. So, I don't need to be
When
a
Dan
superhero.
said that, I immediately texted R2 and I was like, "You have to send me a picture of that, of
Yeah.
him saying that, and I gotta do it." So it was fun. Oh yeah,
And then now, anytime some kind of image gets made, then I go to my wife. I'm like, "Can you make a sticker?" She's like, "I can make shirts now."
that's cool.
Like even better. And then, hey JT, Jay really likes your backdrop.
Oh yeah, I've got the whole Star Wars. I got a row of Star Wars, a row of Marvel. There's some you can't see it, but there's
I see a
quite a
car.
bit.
Yeah,
Make
what's the
him
diecast?
big. Make him big.
If you yeah.
Make me big.
Do it. Do it.
Make him big, like your
Yes.
French girl.
There we go.
That's what she said.
Is that a diecast model at the back? The car
Yeah, I've got a couple models that I've made right here. Right
you
here,
made?
and
Wow.
then there. Yeah,
see
some
Groot.
of them are. Yep, and then Groot's in the back. I got Slimer.
I can see Jabba the Hutt.
I see Jabba. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big collector. This is just a quarter of it. Just literally, there's a closet like right here that's got.
And
stuff.
your Zen rock. Nobody's mentioning the Zen rock in
Yep.
the background. The Tibetan salt stone there.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to keep it
related to
chill.
calm. Yeah. Yeah.
What? No Star Trek? Disappointed.
Nope.
Oh.
Right.
Ah,
man.
okay. All right. I feel better.
Wait, there
now.
is a Star Trek.
There it is.
Yeah,
The
there it is.
Enterprise.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I told you. You're only seeing a very small
I
portion.
see a Peter Venkman doll.
Yes, he was added to the collection
Hey,
up there. Yeah.
where's your Ghostbusters magnet?
Oh, that's up here.
Special place over there. We'll have to take his word for it.
Yeah, I'll take a picture. So.
You got
By the
Jabba
way,
the
JT
Hutt
White
back
the
there.
room.
Hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Jabba the
By the way,
Hutt's back
JT,
there.
your
Yeah, that's a cool find. I found that at Rogue Toys in Las Vegas. If you're in Las Vegas, I'm like 5 hours from it. So if you're ever in Las Vegas, Rogue Toys is a good
Now,
place to pick up those things.
are you like Dan? Do you have anything hiding under the desk that you can pull up and be like, "Oh, I got this right here"? Zing.
Oh, do I have anything under my desk that I can pull up right here? No, not really. Everything's pretty much. I guess I can do this. Here you go. Here's something for you.
Oh, it's
Oh, here.
It's me, Luigi.
Maybe I'll
not
send this
Mario.
to Jay. Maybe Jay can have this, and Jay will get some luck from this and win some Mario Kart. I don't know.
Oh.
nice.
Wow.
Nice.
You gonna
Mm.
you gonna launch a little Luigi at him?
yeah. So, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, clicking the wrong button here. What's Tom? Tom's got some stuff back there too.
Han
Um,
Solo.
I have some artwork back here that I picked up at a couple of Comic-Cons, but I'm also one of the people that stupidly spend their money on dumb things like this.
Oh, Star-Lord.
Guardians of the yeah.
So I have the Star-Lord helmet.
How often do you wear that around the house?
I jokingly wore it into the store like the first day the whole current situation happened, just to mess with people. That was let's just say they didn't let me back into, and
I see a Han Solo up on the shelf behind you too.
Mhm.
That's Han Solo.
Ooh,
Okay.
cool.
Oh, nice.
Iron Man, of course. Up over there is one of the movie scenes from Funko Pop. It's
Oh,
Guido.
Oh,
it looked like Han Solo next to like there was like a cup with a toothbrush. I thought that was something.
yeah.
Guido looks
No.
so cute. Oh my god.
It is the official real scene of Han shooting first.
I love it.
Oh, nice.
You don't
As
know
I
that.
will
They both
say.
have their guns drawn. You don't know what's happening.
Yeah, but let's be honest. He shot first.
Right.
I also have some weird random stuff.
Where did you get your Quakian monkey lizard?
Well, Galaxy's Edge, actually.
Oh, okay. I would like to know. I was like, where? Everybody's talking about their background, but that's your iconic little signature thing there. Like, where did he even get that?
So I was doing a duo call while at Galaxy's Edge with my nephews, and I said, "Well, what do you like?" So I picked up them all 1-2 to send up for their birthdays last year, the first year I was down here fully. So they each got the blue one for themselves, and I think I also got them the Loth Cat. But they said you should wear that around. I'm like, well, why? It's like, well, that way if we see you in if we have a way to say it's you. I'm like, okay. And then my dad had a nickname, and it was Zork, because he was the short of his brothers. So there's a reason behind that I don't want to get into.
Right.
But that was a reason why I picked that name out. Just kind of a way to have my dad going around with me in a way.
Okay.
In the park. So that's the name. And the creature was just my nephew's picking it out. Like,
so they could find you easier?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you are pretty generic looking.
I think
it's a magnet, right? That's how you keep them on the shoulder.
Actually, the wire for the controller actually keeps it taut. So there is a magnet, but I don't use it because it's made for like smaller shoulders. And I've already flattened it once to like this much flat. So it used to be like this, like for a kid's shoulder.
Oh.
So I kind of just like made it flat.
Interesting.
It never falls off or anything, or you have to be careful?
I've had it on Splash Mountain. I've had it on Big Thunder Mountain. The controller kind of just stays in my pocket, and since it, like you're sitting on something, it kind of just stays. Sometimes he'll go a little crazy, but he's generally. Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
I had a Yorkie that looked like that once.
Yeah, I remember when you first popped up on Park Hop, and I was like, who is this cat? This is so fun. Like,
catches your attention.
Cool.
It must be Mr. Tomorrow or Paging Mr. Morrow.
Oh God.
That's I was gonna say
that's part of the reason too, because
like
I do kind of look like him.
Sorry, I just gotta say 3 or 4 weeks ago, Tom was at Disney walking around doing a live stream, and there's somebody got approached by 2 women. They're like, "Aren't you on YouTube?" And I'm like, "If they call him Paging Mr. Morrow, I'm gonna die."
Paging Mr. Morrow doesn't do live streams, so I'm.
Well, just because you told me, they always get confused with you. So.
I mean, Nate's a cool guy. Nate is a really cool guy. I know him. It's whatever. We're similarly portly people.
Hey, bro.
And JT, Maria's saying you've got no crochet figures. Your collection is not complete.
He's speechless.
No, I don't.
Hey, have you met Salacious Rum, Rogue?
I've talked a little bit to Salacious Rum. I know he does. I know he is the Kowakian Monkey King I'm just a trainer. I'm not as well versed in the breed.
Yeah, you're the apprentice right now, right? The Padawan.
Yeah. I will say that it kind of actually makes kids kids get freaked out, and that's the funny thing. Like walking around and go to a switchback, and you have the thing move its head, and like the parent goes, just no one knows what it is though, and Jay can attest to that. We walk around, we've asked people, and they're like, what is that? Is that from Labyrinth? Is that from Gremlins?
Disrespect.
And like that just shows you how far Star Wars has fallen. If Labyrinth has brought up more than Star Wars, so that kind of thing, that's more of a niche product.
And really quick, I've noticed that Tim has got an arsenal behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does.
Whoa.
Weapons.
Yeah, they're real weapons, so I don't know if I can touch them. I don't want you guys getting kicked off the stream, but I do.
I do want you to kick off the stream. Here it comes.
Are those NeoPixels?
No, these aren't. I don't have any NeoPixels yet, but I mean, this one changes colors or whatever, so I like it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Very
beautiful.
Yeah, it connects into a staff, so it's pretty cool. And then I got
Darth Maul on.
Yeah, I love Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I got some more helmets I'll show off maybe later.
Right. Very, very cool. We've all seen Tabitha's background before, so.
Yeah, she has like some weird little hole thing in the background. Have you
eaten that yet? Yeah, I'm shocked nobody has licked the Stargate yet. That's made out of Jolly Ranchers.
So it is gingerbread. Okay.
Did you do?
I don't really invite people over to do that. So.
Here, lick my Stargate. It tastes like a Stargate.
I'm sorry. Saying "Here, lick my Stargate" sounds very, very leading.
It just makes me think of Willy Wonka. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not what I thought when you said "lick my
That's what I was
Stargate."
thinking, Tom.
I'm just plastering this smile on my face since I'm surrounded by dudes. Yes. So no. I don't know what to do with it. I want to keep it for the rest of my life because it's so flippin' cool. But the candy in here, the Jolly Ranchers and the lollipops, it's Kylo Ren. They are getting tacky, and I just don't know what's going to happen, like in the summer and stuff like that.
Couldn't you vacuum seal it inside of a glass thing? Like if you put it inside of a glass container and then suck the air out, the decay should stop.
I don't want to do that.
You like just sprayed it with like a clear coat.
Well, I was thinking of pouring resin over top of the gate itself.
Oh yeah, that would be.
But I just not that it's a bad idea. I just don't. I like the idea of it not being encased. I really like how it's open like this. I'm actually thinking about taking my nerd church and like dropping it off of a building or something like that and watching it just like. But I haven't done that yet.
It's a very David Letterman move.
I'm not quite as attached, or Gallagher. I'm not quite as attached to this as I am to that.
you should put that on a video if you do.
Just be like destroying my nerd church. Yeah, shellac it, something like that to make it last because I'm not a builder person, and so this has superseded what I thought I could do, and it looks
got some
fantastic.
M80s from New Year's, and you could have blown it up.
You can reenact the scene from Office Space.
So great. I do like to blow things up. I do like fire.
And the other thing you can do, because this is what I do with fireworks now, is I buy extra fuse and you zip tie it, and you can just string a bunch of them together, light them off with one fuse.
I'm excited. Like
that's
way better than dropping it off of a building.
You know why I'm not surprised Tabitha likes to blow things up? Because earlier in the stream, she mentioned she was German and something about Hitler. And
that's
a little dark.
One thing I noticed, Tabitha
but
has
it's in the blood.
Tabitha has the most American accent of anyone on the panel. It's kind of funny.
I don't know what that means.
What do you mean American?
Because people tell me that I sound like I'm from Texas or that I sound like I'm from Georgia.
Is that it?
I'm from any? I didn't even grow up in the South.
What makes her more American than the rest of us?
I have no idea. It's very unique accent.
Man, I wish I could just cue the American flag and a bald eagle behind me. Sam, that's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten in my life. The most American accent. See, I think I have more of a. I've developed because I live in the South. I've developed a Southern accent, but it kind of waxes and wanes depending on how much BBC I watch or who I'm hanging out with. So.
America.
Well, Lisa H says you need to Delta Burke your Stargate there and shellac it.
Oh, okay. Have to look that up.
Interesting.
For the Stargate, how did you get that light effect? It's pretty.
Oh, I literally just have a yard Christmas light, like one of those bulbs that shines like all this stuff on it, just resting behind there. And I'll let you in a little secret. There's a gap between my wall and my shelf, so my socks. I have a bundle of socks underneath holding.
No, Sam, Jolly Ranchers here in America glow.
That's right.
Oh,
It's
That
all those,
American sugar
artificial
byproduct.
colors and stuff.
No, I would like to get an official light to put behind it if I am going to keep it, so that way I don't have this ugly cord and I don't have to have socks holding up the light. So.
You could probably get a small LED and put it in there easily enough.
It's just that this moves. You know, it's got that this
Exactly,
particular pattern. Just to have a light wouldn't be quite as nice. So I'm doing some research.
What about an LED LCD panel? So you could put a small circular LCD panel so you could have it be animated.
Sure, I just haven't done the work to look for it. So
Yeah, Tom, just put an LCD panel behind it. Problem solved.
Just point it to the 5 stars and make a portal, and we'll go for it.
yeah.
Engage all your chevrons on there.
Yeah. Just
right.
use an old shoe.
Call Kurt Russell. He'll show up and show you how to do it. So.
I'll take Richard Dean Anderson.
I was gonna say not Kurt Russell. She needs James Spader to do it. Ultron will show you how to do it.
Although I do like me some Kurt Russell. But anyway,
well, I was
2
gonna say
hours later.
yeah. With that, we're gonna call it a night though, guys, because we are a little over than what I was planning for.
you didn't mention the mother of all bad movies. I was waiting for it.
What was the mother of all bad movies?
I was waiting for it, R2. Like
Twilight?
I was literally just sitting here exactly, Tim, just waiting for it to come up.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Is that what you're waiting for? Twilight.
Oh,
What is Twilight?
As horrible, honestly, as it is,
It's not a
enjoy
guilty pleasure
watching-
for me, nor do I find it to be a good bad movie, so I wouldn't mention it.
I-
You guys all seem to like it, so.
Honorable mention for me is Over the Top with Stallone.
Oh yes.
It's a great father-son movie. So
Hmm.
if you ever want to watch a movie with your son, that's a good one.
Arm wrestling.
Arm
for your
wrestling,
son's
trucks, and working out. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So,
still a better love story than Twilight.
yes.
Gotta put your trucker hat on backwards and.
Yeah. Drink some motor oil. Go from
Grease up your biceps. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is. I'll agree. That's definitely a guilty pleasure film. That's awesome to watch.
I told my mom I was going to be a truck driver after that movie. She said no. No offense, truck drivers. Just
these days, with what they get paid, though, she might be proud of you if you became a truck driver.
yeah. So that's one of mine. So
Yeah. But
I don't like necessarily I just want to clarify. I don't necessarily like the entire franchise, and I did watch it. Hang on. What's interesting to me about Twilight?
I have to defend myself here about this.
I do. I don't like romantic movies. It's just not my thing. I don't like them. But I, for some reason, was interested in Twilight, not because of the romance. That doesn't really appeal to me. I just thought it had an interesting storyline. I liked the cinematography. I liked the music. I just thought it was an interesting film. The books were definitely better than the movies, and the movies got weirder and the graphics got worse. I don't know how you could get worse when you're making more money, but the graphics got worse the more the movie went on.
When they showed that baby, I almost...
Yeah, that was creepy, stupid,
and then it
weird.
touches everybody's face.
Oh my gosh, it's not even a real face. But the rest of them or whatever, but I could on a nice dreary day enjoy me some Twilight.
Are dreary days nice?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm from
They're
Washington
dreary.
State. I'm from Washington State, so I resonated a little bit more with that movie. But it's a guilty pleasure as well. So
Yeah.
Any sparkly people out there in Washington?
I can
Tim
neither
can't talk
confirm or
about
deny.
it. No, exactly. I was waiting for that.
Well, fair enough, Tabitha. We won't hold Twilight against you.
The first
Only,
one's okay.
only when it's a dreary day, then we'll be like, oh, Tabitha's watching Twilight.
I like to watch certain movies depending on what the weather is like. Like Lord of the Rings, I can watch it anytime, but I love watching it when it's dreary outside.
Gotcha. Well, awesome. Well, I do thank you guys all for coming and hanging out tonight and chatting about Betty White and some guilty pleasure movies. I hope you all had a good time. Don't forget to like this live stream, subscribe if you haven't, share it with your friends, and don't forget to check out the links to all of my lovely guests here and where to find them on the interwebs. And I hope everybody has a great night tonight.
You too.
And with
Thanks
that,
for having me.
good night, everybody.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
Night.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.